Bonjour tout le monde, c'est moi Charlotte et aujourd'hui, tout d'abord, il fait super chaud, oui. Mais à part ça, aujourd'hui, je vais parler de la chanson qui s'appelle Le Temps des Fleurs. C'est une chanson chantée par Dalida, qui est très connue. Il y a aussi une version de la chanson en anglais qui s'intitule Those Were the Days. Donc, Le Temps des Fleurs, le titre en français, ce n'est pas la même chose, ce n'est pas une traduction parfaite, en fait, du titre en anglais. Mais le contenu, les sentiments des deux chansons sont assez similaires. Donc nous allons regarder un peu les verbes qui sont dans l'imparfait. So they're not exactly the same songs, it's not like word for word translations. And also the title, Those Were the Days, is not exactly the same in French. So the French title is The Time or the Period of Flowers. So it's a nice time in the past. If you wanted to say those were the days in French, or like good times, that kind of thing, remembering something nostalgic in the past, you could say c'était le bon temps. So le temps is time. Of course, it can also be the weather, it just depends on the context. Quel temps fait-il? Par exemple, aujourd'hui, dehors, bien sûr, il fait super chaud, il fait super beau. So le temps, apart from meaning the weather, can mean like time, or it can refer to the two. So what we're going to do is look at this document. I should just clarify that this is for my primarily for the members of my French club, Bonjour, Chepstow, which takes place every last Thursday of the month, normally at the 3 Tons in Chepstow. Just là-bas, down there. But obviously we're in the lockdown still in Wales, so on a toujours le confinement, donc nous restons à la maison. Donc voilà. Au lieu de se retrouver au bar, moi je vais vous envoyer, les membres du club, je vais vous envoyer cette vidéo, un lien à la vidéo, et puis aussi le document qui va être plus ou moins comme ça. Ok? Donc il y a une belle photo là, une image de ceux qui boivent dans un bar ou un pub, et puis il y a les paroles, il y a les paroles d'une chanson, de la chanson, les paroles. In English, that's the lyrics, les paroles. And I've marked the verses out where it says le couplet, so that's like the verse, the couplet if you like, and then we have le refrain. So le refrain is the chorus. So, just in case you're not sure what this song sounds like, I'm going to very crudely play you some of the initial chords. So let me see if I can find them on my phone. Attendez un instant. Okay, là. Okay. There's not much room in here. So, maybe you're going to remember the song. Dans une taverne du vieux Londres, où se retrouvaient les étrangers, nos voix criblées du joie montaient de l'ombre, et nous écoutions nos cœurs chanter. Et voici le refrain. C'était le temps des fleurs, on ignorait la peur. Les lendemains avaient un Toi suivais ma voix, on était jeunes, et l'on croyait au ciel. And then it goes something like la 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 la. Oh, la 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 le problème pour moi, c'est que mes ongles sont trop longs. C'est la main à gauche, donc il faut les couper en fait. Donc c'est un peu difficile. Mais à part ça, c'est juste que je ne suis pas très forte en guitare. Voilà. Okay, so that should remind you, if you have heard the song or the English version, that's how it goes. So let's have a look at the lyrics. By the way, I'll put a link down in the description to the Dalida version, as well as the Mary Hopkins song. And at some point in the next week or so, I'll record my own little version and I'll link to it, and I'll make sure that the members of my club have access to that video. Okay, so it starts off. Dans une taverne du vieux Londres. In a tavern in old London. Londres. Où se retrouvaient des étrangers. Se retrouver. Se retrouver. The verb retrouver it means to, well, it can mean a few things, but it means to meet up. So it comes from the verb trouver, but it has re in the front of it. So it means to meet up with, but it comes from the verb to find, or it's linked to the verb to find. Où se retrouvaient des étrangers. Des étrangers. Étrangers does mean foreigners, but it also means strangers. So people would meet up. People would meet there, you know. Nos voix criblées de joie, montées de l'ombre. So anyone who's got this sheet in front of me, or anyone who wants to go and find the lyrics of Le Temps Des Fleurs, this is what the title looks like, Le Temps des Fleurs. It's quite easy to find the lyrics on my pardonnez-moi, excuse-moi. Anyone who wants to find the lyrics can find them, but on this sheet, what I've basically done is I've got the main verbs that are in the imperfect tense, which is like a past tense, one of the past tenses, and it's used throughout this song, very common, and it's used to talk about what you used to do. So, for example, if I said quand j'étais petite, je ne mangeais pas de viande. Like when I was young, when I used to be young, il y a longtemps, I did not used to eat meat. I didn't eat meat. So that's the tense that you would use. The things that happened in the past, ongoing things. So for the period of my youth, when I was a young girl, I don't know, whatever age, 8 to 15, 16, I wasn't eating meat. I did not eat meat. So that's different from I have not eaten meat, or I ate meat. I didn't used to, okay? Or when I was young, I wouldn't eat meat. There's a couple of ways of translating it in English, but this is the imperfect tense. So people would meet up, or people used to meet. People met up, so it's imperfect. Dans une taverne du vieux Londres, où se retrouvaient des étrangers, where the strangers met up, nos voix criblées de joie, montées de l'ombre. De l'ombre. Our voices, nos voix, criblées de joie, full of joy, basically. Our voices full of joy, joyous voices. Monter is to go up, monter les escaliers. Like, think of mountain, montagne. So that's got the parts of the mount, if you like. Monter de l'ombre. Our voices, like riddled with joy, or full of joy, rose up from the shadows. Right, this is a song, obviously. It's quite poetic. Et nous écoutions nos cœurs chanter. Et nous écoutions So not écoutons, which is we listen, but écoutions. We used to listen. We would listen. We listened, basically. Nos cœurs, our hearts. Chanter, c'est une chose que j'aime faire, moi. Nous écoutions nos cœurs chanter. We listened, we would listen to our hearts singing. So basically, we used to meet up in this old tavern. People would meet there, and our voices would be full of joy, and we would listen to our hearts sing. Happy times, basically. C'était le bon temps. Good times. Le refrain, so the chorus is like this. C'était le temps des fleurs, on ignorait la peur. Les lendemains avaient un goût de miel. Excusez-moi. Avaient un goût de miel. Ton bras prenait mon bras. Ta voix suivait ma voix. On était jeunes et l'on croyait au ciel. And then there's a load of la 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 la. Mais sur le document, je n'ai mis que la 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 la, etc. So I haven't put all the la's. At first I put them all in and I thought, there's no point. So I shortened that. So let's have a look. C'était le temps des fleurs. So it was a wonderful time, basically. On ignorait la peur. Ignorer. From the verb ignorer, which means to not take notice of, basically, or not be aware of, or to ignore, if you like. Les lendemains avaient un goût de miel. So if anyone's reading this, you'll see that there's a T at the end of the third word on this sentence. Les lendemains avaient. I'll show you what this looks like on my little whiteboard. Le petit tableau blanc. So, les lendemains. Qu'est-ce que c'est le lendemain? So there's the word demain in there. Les lendemains is the days after tomorrow. So le lendemain is the day after tomorrow. Like, le lendemain je vais à l'école. The day after tomorrow I'm going to school. Les lendemains, the days after tomorrow, the days that followed, basically. Avait un goût de miel. Had. Avait. So avait is the verb avoir in the third person plural. They, as in les lendemains. Think of it, even though it doesn't mean tomorrow, you can think of it as tomorrow's. The tomorrows had a taste, un goût. You got a circumflex on there? Oui. Un goût de miel. A taste of honey. Basically, they were sweet. They tasted of honey. Avoir un goût de quelque chose is to have a taste of, to taste of something. So that the days after tomorrow, or the tomorrows, taste is sweet. Again, it's the chorus is saying how lovely these times were. Let's think what it is in the English version. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose. We'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. So there's this sentiment in the English song, as well as in this, of being young and carefree and happy. Seeing as we can't meet up in pubs and bars and socialise and sing and be merry and stuff in groups at the moment, I thought that this song was quite fitting. But also it's got some lovely words and structures in there. So anyway, this avait, that ending appears a few times, and endings that sound similar because it's the imperfect tense. I'm pronouncing the T because it comes before the U. Avait un goût. If there wasn't a U after that, for example, they had, I'm just trying to think of something. They had some sisters. Il avait des sœurs. They had something. They had some chocolates. Ils or elles avaient des chocolats. So because it's followed by un or une, you pronounce the T there, and this happens quite often in songs as well, the liaison is made. Also, dans une taverne du vieux Londres, at the beginning, première ligne, je prononce le E à la fin de taverne, dans une taverne. So I'm pronouncing the E at the end of une, and taverne. It's just something that happens a lot in French songs. Sometimes as well in people speaking. I'm just trying to think of Edith Piaf. If you listen to her songs, if you read along, La vie en rose, right? La vie en rose, la vie en rose. She's just pronouncing the E. Anyway, works well in songs. So let's see. They were wonderful days. We had no fear, basically, and the days that followed had like this sweet taste about them. Ton bras prenait mon bras. Your arm took my arm. So you held me, basically, or you took my hand. Ta voix suivait ma voix. Your voice, ta voix, suivait ma voix. So suivre is the verb to follow. You'll hear it, for example, on YouTube channels like Follow Me, Suivez-moi. On était jeunes. So this on, as in O-N, you'll see and hear that a lot, where people mean we. So instead of saying nous étions, you will have on était. Été. So this is the same été as the title. C'était le temps des fleurs. It was le temps des fleurs. On était jeunes. We were young. So don't be surprised when you hear on instead of nous, because it's very, very common. Et l'on croyait au ciel. Okay, l'on croyait. So here we have a few things I want to say. So this sentence starts with on, which, even though you think of it as meaning one, because it's similar to the third person, one would like, one likes. In English, one speaks England. In England, one speaks English, or it's impersonal. It functions as we. So it can either appear as on, or sometimes l'on. Okay? Don't be surprised if you hear or see that. It basically just means one. Okay? L'on croyait au ciel. Now I tried to find a translation of this. I think I understand what it means because I've been listening to this song for years and I know the English song. L'on croyait au ciel. But I can't give you one single translation. L'on croyait au ciel. So one, we used to believe in the sky or the heavens. So this has a kind of childlike innocence to it. It doesn't mean exactly what I'm going to say, but there's a sense of we had faith in things. We were full of faith, and we felt positive. Okay, but the verb croyer, again, there's a T at the end followed by a vowel, so you pronounce the T because of that. That's a liaison. On croyait au ciel, croyait au ciel. That's from the verb croire, which means to believe. There's lots of RE verbs in this song, actually, and ER verbs. So, ton bras prenait mon bras. So have a look at the endings here. Croyait, A-I-T. One believed in the sky, if you like, literally. It doesn't really work literally, but in every sentence where I have the verb in bold, en gras, in this sheet, that's showing you the verb in the imperfect. But the part in red that isn't in bold, that comes before it, like ici par exemple, voilà, on était jeunes et l'on croyait au ciel. The était and the croyait they're the verbs, but the bits before them, on and l'on, or ta voix suivez, ton bras prenez, the bits that aren't in bold but are in red, that's the subject of the sentence. I don't normally put the subject in red, I just normally highlight the verb, but I thought to make it easier to see how the verb is conjugated, I would include the subject. So for example, wherever there's a verb here in red, the subject, the bit that it applies to is in red as well. Sometimes the subject comes after the verb. I'm just trying to look for a little example there. I don't know if there are. Here. So in the next verse, le couplet. Et puis sont venus les jours de brume. So, and then came the days of, or the foggy or the misty days, the hazy days. Then came the hazy days. Even in the English translation, the hazy days is the subject of the sentence. But normally you say, the hazy days came. And the verb came comes after the subject. But here you've got it after the verb. So that can happen sometimes. And hence, it's not always clear where the subject of the sentence is. It's not always, I want something, or Marcus eats the apple. Sometimes it's the apple eats, and then this doesn't make sense. But le jour, et puis sont venus les jours de brume could also be said, les jours de brume sont venus. The hazy days came, rather than then came the hazy days. I hope you understand what I mean. Anyway, you'll find the subjects of a sentence, subject or subjects, depending on how long the sentence is and how many clauses there are. You'll find them in red, but not in bold. Et puis sont venus les jours de brume. So we went from le Temps des Fleurs, the time or the epoch or the period of flowers, of happiness, and les jours de brume sont venus. That means the foggy or the cloudy or the hazy days, dark days. Avec des bruits étranges et des pleurs, with strange noises and tears or crying, so something bad happened. Combien j'ai passé de nuits sans lune. So I was thinking about how to translate this, and I found a nice way. So how many moonless nights have I had, or have I spent? I have spent so many, basically. Moonless. Sans lune. So when something translates in English as less, as in, or free, like sugar-free, moonless, starless, that kind of thing. In French, you just use the word sans, like that. So you'll have seen that probably. Sans lune, without the moon. Actually, it's two separate words. In English, we would say moonless, or maybe without the hyphen, moonless, without something. Combien j'ai passé de nuits sans lune à chercher la taverne dans mon cœur. How many moonless nights have I spent searching for the tavern in my heart? So this is really sad, kind of poetic stuff. Passer de nuit à chercher la taverne dans mon cœur. So that's another little verse. Let's go back to le refrain, which is a little bit different. Ça a changé un peu. Tout comme au temps des fleurs. Just like during the good times, où l'on vivait sans peur. This is slightly different from the chorus before, but it's mostly the same. Just like in the good old days, if you like, where we lived fearlessly, sans peur, without fear, où chaque jour avait un goût de miel, where each day tasted of honey, each day was sweet. Remember that when sometimes it won't translate back into English perfectly, so you have to sort of summarize in general, okay, or it loses its kind of poetry. Ton bras, the ton bras, that's your in the informal, singular, ton, as opposed to votre bras. So that's addressing whoever's being addressed, presumably a lover or a friend, or a companion, a friend from the tavern. Ton bras, prenez mon bras. Your arm took my arm, or would take, or used to take, from the verb prendre. Prendre. So let me just show you that verb in the infinitive form. P-R-E-N-D-R-E, that's the infinitive, to take. And here is the third person, prenez. It would take. So that ending there, here is the stem isn't quite the same, but you lose the D, and that gives you prend, or prenez, and then you add the AIT, just like in c'était, or ta voix suivait, or let's see, on ignorait. Not all, but most of these verbs that are in the imperfect tense are in the third person singular, he, she, or it form. So ton bras refers to your arm, it. Ta voix, okay, ta voix is feminine, so you could say elle suivait ma voix, she would follow my voice. But remember, elle refers to ta voix, your voice. So it's not referring to a girl. If you say elle, it would refer to the feminine noun ta voix. Okay, where were we? Où chaque jour avait un goût de miel, ton bras prenait mon bras, ta voix suivait ma voix, your voice would follow my voice. It's kind of got a notion of, just like in the good old days, where we were fearless, we were young and fearless, we'd be arm in arm or hand in hand, and we'd be singing together. It's got that kind of sense to it, you know, it's a good old time. On était jeunes, we were young, and we had faith, you know, or we were full of light, hope. You know, it's a very positive thing. Okay, and the last verse. Et ce soir je suis devant la porte de la taverne, tout ne viendra plus. Et la chanson que la nuit m'apporte, mon cœur déjà ne la reconnaît plus. Oh, excusez-moi. Mon cœur déjà ne la connaît plus. Okay, so it wasn't reconnaît, which I thought it was. It's connaît plus. So, and this evening, so it's kind of come full circle. Et ce soir, je suis devant la porte. And tonight I am in front of the door. La porte. Devant la porte. Devant, derrière. In front of, behind. La porte. Je suis devant la porte de la taverne. I am in front of the tavern door. The door of the tavern. La porte de la taverne. Où tu ne viendras plus. So ne and plus around the verb viendra. That's the future tense of, any idea which verb? Venir. So that means to come. So venir and the future tense in the to form, où tu ne viendras plus. So instead of ne viendra, let me put it in the future. Viendra. Tu viendras, you will come. Tu ne viendras pas, you will not come. But instead of ne and pas, we're having ne and plus. What does that mean? Ne and plus. Again, it's a negative. It means you will not come anymore, or you will not come, or you will no longer come. So plus, ne and plus can mean no longer or no more or not again, if you like. Je ne mangerai plus, or je ne mange plus la viande. I no longer eat meat, or I will no longer eat meat, or I will eat meat no more, if you like. Ne and plus. Okay. Et la chanson que la nuit m'apporte. Et la chanson, and the song, que la nuit, so that's the song that the night m'apporte. La chanson que la nuit m'apporte. The song that the night brings to me. So that's a bit like porter, but it has an A and a P in front of the verb. So it's conjugated just like porter, to carry or to wear, but it means to bring. And the song that the night brings to me, mon cœur, that's my heart, déjà ne la connaît plus, already doesn't know it. That's kind of sad. In fact, I got a little shiver then. So what this is saying is that it's difficult to remember, as there's this theme of the song and music and joy and all that kind of stuff in this song. And the song that the night brings with it is not the one it used to be. Donc ça veut dire que le temps passe vite et les choses changent. Things change. Anyway, let's go back to the last refrain, or last chorus, and let's see if I can find. Yeah, I think it's exactly the same, but there's no little changes, so I'm just going to see if I can. Oh, taking that off first, see if that's the right. Is that the cue we're in? C'était le temps des fleurs. It was a great time. It was the time of flowers. On ignorait la peur. We were without fear. We didn't pay attention to fear. Les lendemains n'avaient un goût de miel. The days after tomorrow tasted of honey. They were sweet. Ton bras prenait mon bras. Your arm took my arm. Ta voix suivait ma voix. Your voice followed my voice. On était jeunes. We were young. Et l'on croyait au ciel. And we believed in the sky. In the English version, that last bit is, for we were young. Hang on a minute. Les lendemains n'avaient un goût de miel. Ton bras prenait mon bras, ta voix suivait ma voix. On était jeunes. We were young and sure to have our way. There you go. So we were young and sure to have our way. You know, it conveys in the English version a sense of positivity. Like we believed in ourselves. We were young, carefree, thought we knew everything. Okay, and in this one, on était jeunes, we were young, and we believed in the sky. And then it just ends. Da, 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 Really need to cut my nails. Donc voilà, I'm just going to go through the verbs, and then I think I'll send this to you, and I'll upload the video and put a little description, and if I remember I'll link in the Dalida version as well as the Mary Hopkins version. Let me just go through the verbs. Se retrouver, to meet up. Monter, to go up. Écoutions, from écouter, to listen. C'était, from être, to be. Ignorer, to not pay attention to, or to not be aware of, or to ignore. Avait, with a T, avait un goût de miel, that's from avoir, to have. Prenez, from prendre, to take. Suivre, or suivez, which is a form in the imperfect third person singular of suivre, to follow. Était, from être. Croyez, from croire, to believe. Sont venus les jours de brume. Okay, that's not in the imperfect, that's in the past tense. Les jours de brume sont venus. Mes amis sont venus. They came. That's a passé composé. Then you have another passé composé. J'ai passé, I spent. So when you're talking about spending time, not spending money, but spending time. J'ai passé des nuits sans lune, moonless nights. I spent, to spend time, to pass the time, if you like. Let's go to the refrain. On vivait, that comes from vivre, to live. Avait, or avait, from avoir. Prenez, again, from prendre. Suivre, suivez, from suivre, to follow. Être, croire, and then let's go to the last couplet, or the last verse. Je suis, present tense, I am, in front of the door. Tu ne viendras plus, where you will never again come, so that's the future of to come, in the to form. The song that the night brings to me, apporter, que la nuit m'apporte. Ooh, two things I want to mention about that verse. La chanson que la nuit m'apporte. Ça veut dire que la nuit apporte à moi. So the me in front of apporter is short for me, and me is an indirect object pronoun, which means à moi, à moi. So we'll be seeing object pronouns and indirect and direct object pronouns, but the me, to me. And in the next line we have déjà mon cœur déjà ne la reconnaît plus. So there we have la, and la refers to la chanson from the sentence above. So my heart already doesn't know it. It. So the it refers to la chanson. So instead of repeating la chanson, we can just say la and put the la in front of the verb connaît. So je ne la connais pas, I don't know it, or I don't know her, depending on the context. Okay, then we have ignorer from ignorer, pronounced the same. I'm going to show you that actually. Sometimes things sound exactly or very similar, exactly the same, but they're spelt differently, so let me show you. Ignorer. On ignorait la peur. We would ignore fear. We ignored fear. We used to ignore fear. Three ways of translating ignorer in the imperfect, so that's the imperfect ending. But that sounds like this. Keep hitting the mic. Ignorer. So that's the infinitive version of the verb, but the ending here sounds just so similar. If you were to say I ignored or I paid no attention to fear in the past, in the passé composé, j'ai ignoré. Accent aigu, they'd all sound the same. Ignorer, ignorer, ignorer. Ouais, c'est difficile. Mais ça s'entend, la différence, pas la différence, mais c'est le contexte, c'est une question de contexte. Anyway, so ignorer, avoir, prendre, suivre, être, loads of verbs in here. Look at the imperfect tense and have a look through this document and try and identify the infinitive verbs. If you're not sure what they are, go back over the video and maybe go to a verb conjugator like on wordreference.com, and you can see the conjugations, and definitely have a look into the imperfect tense. That's a useful one for talking about the past, what you used to do, what you would do when you were younger, for example. Okay, I look forward to seeing you all next time. It's probably going to be another video and a handout via email, but you never know, on ne sait jamais. Maybe things will have changed by next month and we'll be allowed to meet up in person, but I'd like to play it safe, I think. So it might be that we don't see each other for a few months in person, but je croise les doigts. I'm crossing my fingers. And look out for my reprise, my cover of Le Temps Des Fleurs, which will probably be the French version, just for fun, and maybe later down the line I'll do an English version of those for the days too. So thank you very much, bonne soirée à vous tous, et à bientôt, merci.